Hey there, listeners. Welcome to Red Hunt, where I delve into the captivating world of relationship stories shared on Reddit. Get ready for some thrilling tales that will leave you wanting more. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the hunt. BF wants a 6-month break from me. Is this a lost cause? For just under a year, I have been dating a guy who is really intelligent, funny, and I would even say unique. This is a completely new experience for me. From the beginning, we were clear about not having any expectations for the future, but I was excited about where our relationship could potentially go. After a year together, we started saying I love you and discussing the possibility of moving in together, although we didn't go into specifics. We seemed to have a strong and supportive relationship based on trust. However, everything suddenly changed at the start of the new year. He went on a retreat by himself over New Year's, which he does every year. Although I missed him, I was glad he took the time for self-care. Once he returned, we had a video call to catch up. He appeared happy, but also somewhat distant. I asked if everything was all right, and he blurted out, "I can't be with you right now." He wanted a month-and-a-half break due to stress and burnout. I knew he had a complicated living situation and understood the stress, but I believed that our relationship was a source of support for him and that we were both committed to making it work. I was extremely upset and caught off guard by his sudden request. Initially, I told him I couldn't handle it because I had just finished school and was dealing with a lot of uncertainty in my life. I was devastated by this unexpected interruption. He acknowledged that he should have handled it better, expressed understanding, and hoped we could remain in contact in the future. After a few days, I began to question my intense emotional reaction. I genuinely care about him and I miss him deeply. I asked if the break was still an option, and if it was, I would be willing to wait for him. We both acknowledged the significance of our relationship, and he agreed, but said he now needed 6 months because he had a lot to work on personally. To be honest, everything is a bit blurry after that. He sent me a calendar event for late June. I suppose I agreed, and part of me really wants to give him the time he needs in order to potentially salvage our relationship. However, another part of me worries that I am just prolonging my own pain, and that I shouldn't have any expectations for a positive outcome. I am incredibly confused. Am I being overly sensitive? Am I being led on? I wish I could ask him for clarification or assurance, but that doesn't seem possible. I genuinely believed there was something special between us, but now I wonder if I was foolish. It upsets me that I am doubting him and doubting my own judgment. Is there a way for me to give him this time while also maintaining my dignity and happiness? It's understandable that you feel confused and hurt after your boyfriend suddenly asked for a break. It's important to trust your gut instincts and take care of yourself during this time. If you're unsure about waiting for 6 months without any guarantees, it might be worth having an open and honest conversation with him about your concerns and needs moving forward. Am I the antagonist for not letting husband's ex into a mom's class group chat? My husband and I met in college. Before that, he dated a girl named Millie from ages 14-17. When I first met his family, they all seemed to idolize me, which was awkward. He explained that his family, and most people in his life before college, believed he and Millie would be together forever. Although I felt uncomfortable, he assured me that he only loves me. We had a few fights because of things his friends said, but eventually realized we were being foolish. For several years, I didn't have any problems related to Millie. It seemed like everyone had moved on. Now my husband and I have 3 kids. My middle son, 6, is in the same grade as Millie's son, although they are in different classes. I only found out about this when my mother-in-law casually mentioned it. The moms in my son's class created a group chat. A couple of days ago, Millie contacted me and asked if I could add her to the group chat. She mentioned that she and her son are having trouble connecting with the other moms and kids, and thought it would be helpful. I was confused about why she was asking me for permission and how she got my number, but then I realized that the other moms probably told her and wanted her to ask me out of consideration for me. Most of these women grew up with Millie, so they know all the details of their past relationship. I told Millie that I can't really stop anyone from adding her, but I would prefer if she didn't join. Besides, it's a class group chat and her son isn't even in it. She got upset and asked if I'm saying no because of her history with my husband. I admitted that was the reason. She then accused me of being sensitive and petty. I expressed my discomfort, but she responded by saying that not everything is about me and I'm being selfish. I made a sarcastic comment about protecting my peace before firmly telling her that she won't change my mind and that she and her son are not my responsibility. Millie became even angrier and started telling anyone who would listen that I'm selfish and still hung up on the past. She even called me elitist. Millie is still causing a stir, and my husband thinks we're all being ridiculous. Although he said it jokingly, I'm not sure. One of the moms in the group chat asked me privately about the situation and simply responded with, so I'm still uncertain. However, they mentioned that they wouldn't add Millie unless I gave my permission. Am I the asshole in this situation? It's understandable that you might feel uncomfortable with your husband's ex being a part of the group chat, especially given their history. It's not necessarily about being hung up on the past, but more about protecting your own peace of mind. Ultimately, it's up to you whether or not you're comfortable with her joining, and it seems like the other moms are respecting your wishes. My best friend keeps trying to give me advice on life and it's frustrating me. But am I overreacting? I am a 27-year-old woman and my best friend, Jay, and I have been friends since we were sophomores in high school. We have experienced many things together, including college, her first relationship, first jobs, life dramas, and general life stuff. Jay is someone I look up to. She has a job she enjoys and maintains a good work-life balance while earning a decent salary. She is in a wonderful relationship and is generally confident in her actions and life choices. She possesses a lot of knowledge in various subjects and even researches them in the moment to actively participate in conversations. Additionally, she is extremely considerate and puts others before herself. For example, when I followed a vegetarian diet, she made sure there were plenty of options for me when we ate out. However, she can be a bit straightforward and doesn't hesitate to show disappointment in me. Maybe that's just her true personality coming through? Over the past 3 years or so, I've been feeling stuck. I tend to prioritize pleasing others, even when I shouldn't. This has led me to stay at a low-paying and stressful job for over 4 years and allowed my other friends to take advantage of me. On top of that, I am constantly anxious about my financial situation and whether I'll be able to afford a house in the future. I have shared all of this with Jay and expressed my concerns. While she starts off sympathetically, she usually ends up telling me what I should be doing, almost like a motherly figure. It's starting to bother me. For instance, when I mentioned wanting to get a second job on the weekends, working 8-hour shifts on Saturdays and Sundays, instead of supporting me, she suggested that I use that time to rest. When I couldn't hang out with her one time because I was with another friend group, she expressed disappointment because that friend group was toxic to me. And when I expressed wanting to make a drastic career change, she didn't really support me and questioned if it was the right path for me. She behaves as if she knows what's best for me, and sometimes I feel like she talks down to me. However, even while scolding me, she seems to understand why I want to do certain things, but still explains why they may not be good ideas. Why does she think she knows best? Am I overreacting? I don't usually take her advice to heart, and we haven't fought about it, but it's frustrating to constantly be told that my own ideas are wrong. It sounds like your best friend means well and genuinely cares about you, but her approach to giving advice may be coming across as condescending and overbearing. It's understandable that you're feeling frustrated and annoyed by her constant scolding. Perhaps it would be helpful to have an open and honest conversation with her about how her advice makes you feel, and discuss the importance of letting you make your own choices, even if they may not align with her opinions. Am I the antagonist for making a stink that my husband didn't get me so much as a card for my birthday? Yesterday was my 37th birthday. I didn't take a day off from work because we had just had a day off for MLK Day, but we had a birthday dinner planned with my family and my in-laws for the evening. In the morning, my husband, 36 and son, wished me a happy birthday. There was no card or anything yet, but I know my husband tends to do things last minute, so I figured he was planning to get something on his way home from work or something. At work, my boss told me I could leave an hour early since it was my birthday. When I got home, my husband was already home and he said they didn't have work today. He is an independent contractor and plumbs pools. I thought, okay, so he's been home all day. However, I didn't see any signs of a birthday acknowledgement anywhere. I thought maybe he had a card or something and was planning to bring it to dinner. When we got in the car to go to dinner, I didn't see any signs of even a card, so I casually mentioned, "Oh, I received lots of nice birthday wishes." My friend Mary said she hopes my boys spoil me. He sort of grunted and said, "I think taking you to dinner is spoiling you." That's when I knew. I asked him if he had gotten me anything for my birthday, even a card. He admitted that he hadn't. I was heartbroken because I felt like he didn't really care. For his most recent birthday, I booked a beach weekend for all of us, paid for the Airbnb, bought all our meals while we were there, and bought him a cake, balloons, and a card. And he couldn't even be bothered to do anything, even though he was home all day. He made me feel like an asshole for being upset, even calling me materialistic and telling me to grow up because I'm now a 37-year-old woman complaining about not receiving a birthday gift. I told him I wouldn't have cared if he couldn't afford a big gift, but he could have at least done something to show some effort. He actually had the nerve to say, "I thought I was doing good, waking up and wishing you a happy birthday." Like, wow, how low can the bar get? I was frustrated because I felt like he was gaslighting me, and I was crying, but he just kept making excuses. He finally mumbled, "I should have gotten you a card," but that was the only acknowledgement, no apology or anything. We ended up sitting on opposite sides of the table at dinner, his choice. He asked me where he should sit and I said, "I don't care." And he never really acknowledged anything after we left, not even when I thanked him for dinner. I ended up crying myself to sleep last night, feeling worthless because not only could he not be bothered to do anything to make me feel special on my birthday, but he blamed me for being upset. And I genuinely don't know if he realizes how hurtful it was, or if he even cares. But I also wonder if I really am being unreasonable. I know I'm sensitive, and I do like to feel a little spoiled on special occasions, not necessarily with expensive gifts, but just something that makes me feel special and acknowledged. Am I the asshole here? It's completely understandable that you would feel hurt and disappointed by your husband's lack of effort and acknowledgement on your birthday, especially after the effort you put into making his birthday special. It's not about materialism, it's about feeling valued and appreciated. His response and attempts to gaslight you were invalidating and disrespectful. You deserve to have your feelings acknowledged and for your birthday to be celebrated, even if it's just something small. My boyfriend rich family want to accept me. What should I do? At the age of 23, I am a black woman who is dating a 25-year-old man. He hails from an affluent family background with a mixed racial heritage, his father being black and his mother white. Our meeting took place at a charitable foundation where I volunteered, and we immediately connected. While I work in retail, my boyfriend is financially supported by a trust fund. He has expressed his desire to utilize his parents' fortunes to establish a nightclub or a casino. His siblings also rely on trust funds, but they are concurrently pursuing higher education to secure esteemed employment opportunities. One sibling intends to attend medical school, another plans to study law, and the third aims to achieve a business degree. Their parents insist on their children attaining these prestigious jobs. Around a month into our 6-month relationship, I discovered the extent of his family's wealth. It is crucial to note that his father stemmed from a middle-class background, whereas his mother hails from an old, affluent lineage. To provide further context, my boyfriend's paternal grandmother worked as a therapist, while his father served in the military. After leaving the military, he became an electrician and subsequently pursued real estate. Ultimately, he established a thriving subprime car finance company with the funds accumulated from his prior role. It was during this period that my boyfriend's father encountered his mother, as he interacted with wealthy individuals due to his financial success. The couple married and had children, including my boyfriend. He attended an expensive private school, where the majority of his friends hailed from exceedingly wealthy backgrounds. Additionally, I happened to be the only black girl he has ever dated. I expressed my desire to meet his parents, but he expressed doubts regarding their support of our relationship. He conveyed that his family only wishes for him to date individuals from similarly affluent families. Furthermore, my boyfriend mentioned concerns related to my manner of dress and speech. I possess long nails and employ slang to a significant extent. Although I personally do not view this as problematic, my boyfriend indicated that his father considers it ghetto. Consequently, his father disapproves of me due to my ghetto background and middle-class upbringing. I was taken aback by this revelation. I had presumed his father to be more down-to-earth, considering his modest origins and subsequent accomplishment in securing generational wealth for his family. I had assumed that he, above all, would possess a humble disposition. My boyfriend disclosed that their home and family events were off-limits to me. However, he did manage to arrange a dinner during which I could converse with his parents. Unfortunately, the encounter yielded nothing but rudeness, alongside constant mentions of my boyfriend's previous girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend from high school also stemmed from a wealthy family. My boyfriend's parents referred to her as someone who elevated his standards, citing that she possessed elegance, class, wealth, and aristocratic origins. They questioned his decision to consort with someone they deemed beneath him, expressing a desire for him to date someone similar to his previous partner. It is important to note that the aforementioned relationship occurred during our teenage years when he was only 15 and she was 17. Their breakup transpired due to her departure for college in another country. Their comments deeply wounded me. During the dinner, they made it clear that they did not approve of our relationship or offer their support. It is worth mentioning that my boyfriend had another ex-girlfriend whom he dated when he was 22, and she 28. As previously mentioned, all of his friends and exes originated from exceedingly wealthy families. However, their relationship concluded 2 years ago. Strangely enough, his family extended an invitation to her at our family home, suggesting they wished for them to reconcile. My boyfriend's mother even contacted me, urging me to end our relationship and allow my boyfriend to date someone on their level. My boyfriend expressed his desire to lease a beautiful apartment for us, but his parents refused to pay for it, despite having willingly financed luxury apartments for his siblings. Additionally, they have threatened to revoke his access to his trust fund should he continue our relationship, leaving me uncertain about what course of action to pursue. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. That's a really tough situation to be in. It's disappointing that your boyfriend's family is so focused on wealth and social status. It's important to remember that their opinions don't define your worth or the value of your relationship. I think you and your boyfriend need to have a serious conversation about his priorities and where he stands on the issue. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide if you're willing to continue the relationship despite the family's disapproval. Just remember, love should never be about money or social class. Would I be the antagonist for asking my parents for more money? I am a 20-year-old student studying abroad for university. My parents provide funds for my education and general expenses, such as rent and food. However, they have explicitly stated that the funds cannot be used for partying or clubbing. They have the same arrangement with my 22-year-old sister. We each receive the same amount per semester. We study in different towns in the same country, so we are unable to live together. Our tuition and rent are similar, although my rent is slightly higher. On the other hand, restaurants in my sister's town are more expensive. Unfortunately, I have developed multiple disabilities and chronic illnesses. Even with insurance, the cost of my medical expenses adds up to 700 euros per month. I have had to frequently visit the hospital for testing and treatment over the past year. I now have a diagnosis and a treatment plan, but it is expensive. Despite not partying or drinking, I go through the funds much faster than my sister. She frequently goes out clubbing and attends concerts. She recently got a job to help fund her activities, but she used our parents' funds before. As a foreigner in this country, it is extremely difficult for me to find a job due to my physical and psychological conditions. Additionally, I face a lot of discrimination from anti-immigrant sentiments in the town I live in. I was accepted for 2 jobs in the past, but they are no longer accessible to me physically. Furthermore, in order to work, I need a visa sponsorship, and finding employers who are willing to do that is challenging. I have tried various strategies to be frugal, such as only buying discounted food or the cheapest items, growing my own food when possible, and avoiding dining out or getting takeout. I participate in lab studies at my university for some extra income, but they often pay me only around 4–5 euros. I have even sold clothing and food to try and generate some income, but it is incredibly difficult. In fact, I had to create a GoFundMe page to raise funds for a wheelchair because I couldn't afford it. Due to the financial challenges and the large variable expense caused by my medical condition, I am left with no choice but to either stop treatment or ask for additional funds. At the same time, my parents refuse to acknowledge my new medical condition. I have provided them with all the necessary documents and have tried countless times to explain it to them, but they remain in denial. I don't blame them, it is a lot to process. However, it is important to note that they already provide significant monetary support, not only to me, but also to my sister. Given these circumstances, would I be the asshole for requesting more money from my parents despite all they have already given me? It's clear that you're facing some serious challenges with your health and financial situation. You've already taken measures to try and be financially responsible, and it's unfortunate that your parents aren't fully understanding your medical condition. It may be worth having an open and honest conversation with them to explain your current situation and see if they can offer any additional support. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.